Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Monday, April 27th. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend and looking forward to closing out here April, the next 4 trading days. Nice and strong. Nice little early morning push here to the downside. Let's kind of go over some of our key levels here while the market decides what it wants to do. Looking at the NQ. As I let everyone know in my signal group, first real selling unbalanced volume area that I've seen in a long time, sitting at the 27,540 to the 27,507. So that was kind of interesting here this morning. We really haven't seen much unbalanced volume from sellers here in the markets. So we've got key level at the 27,462, the 440, and the 403, which is pretty much where we've been kind of hanging around almost all morning here. We do have a signal coming up here at the 27,328, targeting the 341 and the 351, with the stop at the 27,315. I will typically pause that 8 to 10 minutes in the market here before I take a signal for a scalp, just to kind of let the market decide maybe what it wants to do here in the early morning. And then below that, we've got a buyer unbalanced volume area sitting right here. Good amount of volume sitting here at the 27,261 to the 27,227. We also have this other shaded area right here that was almost signal worthy, but was having a kind of hard time here with my take profit here, so kind of left that one alone. And then on the ES, we've been pretty much playing ping pong from the key levels that I gave my group this morning at the 71.85, the 71.95, and then we've got another one sitting up here at the 7,200. But you could see we've been kind of playing ping pong in between these two levels here all morning. And to the to the downside, we've got a buyer unbalanced volume area here at the 71.60 to the 71.45, with the key level here at the 71.43. This could be sweepy material right here, for sure, off of these key levels. I'm not sure why my drawing tool is a little laggy. And then the last one is in gold. So gold, we've got an unbalanced volume area here sitting at the 46.97 to the 46.91. And then everything else has been price action that we've been kind of talking about here for a couple of days. All right, let's see. One other thing to note on the from Friday's stream, somebody had asked me what range I would be trading the ES on, and I spoke incorrectly. My thought process was correct, but what I said was wrong, because I said that you should be on a 30 range chart for the AVT to get those 9 to 12 point moves one way or the other, which is kind of a mini trend in the ES. That's obviously not the 30 range. That would be like your 12 to 16 range is what you would want to be using on the AVT strategy. 30 range is going to be, just it's a 10 point move for each box. So you'd be looking at, a 30 point move on the ES, which is not realistic. So I misspoke on Friday's stream. I said, a 9 to 12 point move, but I said the wrong range in that live stream on Friday. So just make a note of that. So we did have a setup here on the ES. We've had a few on the NQ and the ES. So again, on this leg here to the downside, you would have gotten your entry right here, and your TP would have been right here. Both of these would have hit your value area low and your break of structure to the downside. And then now, as far as another look here, almost tapped into the value area high there. Let's see what the NQ is showing. taking a look at the ES. The ES almost dipped right into the value area low here. I think it missed it here by probably a tick. And you would have gotten your TP out here at the 71.95, so that's no longer a setup for us to look at. And on the NQ, we've got 1, 2 down, so that doesn't fit our criteria of a mini trend. We want to see at least 3 down. Kind of look at the bigger picture here. Thanks, typewriter, for the comment there. So kind of let this chop here play out. Morning, Arshak. Nordic, Joe, Rob, Greg, William, Keith, Joe, Steve, Mo, John, Max. Good morning, all. Steve, good morning. So we got 4 more days left in April. Let's see if we can make the best out of it here. Let's see what this little play here on the ES looks like. Looks like we might not get this one here. We'll see if this gets tagged in before we break structure here on the upside here on the ES. And Q still kind of choppy. See if we get an entry in here or not. Again, I'm going to be targeting here break of structure to the upside here, as we've already hit the point of control here on this retracement move back to the upside. So we got about 3.5 points of risk here for 4.25 points profit here on the ES. Looks like we might want to break to the downside here. And Q still looks kind of choppy. A lot of liquidity sitting here at the 7200s. Obviously a big psychological number, but we just got tagged out there on our ES trade. First loss of the morning here. 3.5 points. Not going to be taking the initial balance low here, as we're going to be... actually, no, we're not going into a... well, we are going into a signal here. So that's a little counter. It's a little counterproductive. Still pretty choppy on the 120 for the NQ. No setup on AVT yet, just yet. I do like that flip. All right, I'm gonna see if we can just take a small scalp here off that flip right there. I'm gonna go to break even there. Let's see if we can get a nice little push here to the upside. Nope. All right. Whoa, whoa. That was a strong move to the downside there. All right, so we're going to cancel out that signal. We missed that signal there by a tick. So that gets invalidated. I did not get filled there. Ouch. So that would have been my TP1. TP1 and TP2. I missed that entry there by about a tick. Well, this morning's already starting off pretty fucking horrible. Capture. Get rid of this guy. All right, so signal hit would have hit TP1, TP2. I canceled out that signal based on me missing that entry right there by a tick on the initial entry. Nothing on the AVT setup here on the NQ yet. We have not made any... we have not had anything that meets our criteria here yet of 3 down 120 range bars or 3 up 121 range bars. Did take a ES trade here. Went for a loser. All right, we'll just continue to monitor. Morning, Key. Morning, Anna. Joe's signal was filled on MNQ. Okay. So it looks like my lucids were filled at no, nothing was filled there for me. Sorry, so what I was saying was gold's pretty range bound, ES is pretty range bound, and so is the NQ right now. Here, let's see, the soulful thing. No, that would have been a short setup right here on this AVT right here. But as I explained, you know, you got your entry confirmation, you got your 1, 2, 3 down, so that meets the first requirement. You got your up bar. Finally, we got an AVT setup here on the NQ, but the reason why there was no entry is if you take a look at your value area high sitting right here, point of control sitting right here. Remember, we're looking to take a short. There's no entry here, so we have nothing here to take an entry from. All of our key levels to take a short from we're below where price action closed right up here. So no short setup here whatsoever. All right, let's see what kind of setup we got looking at right here. The greatest on the risk to rewards setup here. So your RR on this trade looks pretty awful, and I'm going to pass on this AVT setup. Our unbalanced volume area is sitting down here, so splitting this here still gives me a pretty negative risk to reward here. So I am going to, again, this whole strategy is extremely logical. So, I mean, our entry would be right here. TP1 would be at the point of control, which I wouldn't be targeting. I would be targeting the value area high sitting right up here. But if we take a look at the range from here to where even a conservative stop loss is still puts you at a negative risk to reward here. So I am going to skip on this AVT setup right now. And it's the beauty of the system. Everything is very extremely logical for you. Now, if you wanted to split the difference of the value area high, value area low, your stop loss would be sitting somewhere around here, which would still make this either a 1-to-1 or slightly negative risk to reward. So again, none of the real scenarios here play out really nicely for me. So I'm going to skip this one here. I'm going to skip this leg. I had a long thinking I had a short end one. Yeah, it's I have made that mistake many times on stream too, which is even better. Chuck, wow, absolutely. So I had thought of I was thinking that as a instead of an ATR, because you really can't have an ATR set with a range, with range bars, because every bar is going to be the exact same value. But I figured, I'm like, okay, well, we can kind of create our own ATR, but base it on time. So how long it takes for a 120 range candle to actually complete. And you, Chuck, you are 1000% onto something. I have tried quoting something with ChatGPT to kind of formulate that, because that'll kind of give us volatility, which is what this strategy needs. Mini volatility, nothing huge, but we need at least some movement. That's why it works in range days. It works in most of your range trending days. You know, you'll be able to catch some good entries. But you'll notice that from about 8:30 in the morning till about 11 o'clock in the morning, so about the first 2.5 hours of the market, you will get these 3 down, 4 down, 5 down bars within minutes. And then towards the later part of the afternoon, you'll start to see that for a AVT setup to happen, you might need to wait 30 to 40 minutes. So there's obviously a big difference in volatility in that you know, in that time period. So yes, there is absolutely. So right there, you would have gotten into on this entry here, which would have been sitting here. And of course, I mean, you know, the setups that I skip typically are the ones that hit that will go for me. But again, I got to stay within reasonable risk to reward structure here to take an entry here. And to have my stop, what I would really like to have my stop would be in this unbalanced volume area here. This is the origination of the impulsive move. So I would like to split that difference right here. But again, this range from here to here, is probably less than 1 to 1.5. So, I mean, this is a terrible risk to reward, even though you're probably going to get, you know, a TP here. That's okay. We'll just continue to wait. We'll see what the next setup brings us. ES is in pretty choppy, obviously a pretty choppy environment right now, so nothing to do on the ES. Gold is just absolutely just sitting there. I am interested to see what if we do get a footprint confirmation down here. In gold, I will take this trade. I do have a group of funded accounts set up to trade gold, so we'll see if we could take that one or not. And since we're on the subject of mistakes, who was the one that was talking about the mistake that they made that worked for them? Key. So, just a fantastic example of a boneheaded thing that I did was on, I think it was Thursday of last week. I told my Signal members in the pre-session live stream that that I was going to be adding on a group just to trade gold because I can't trade gold with Apex. So I had to kind of, you know, go in and see the funded firms, which ones I could trade from. So I have in this group, I've got Lucid and I've got Tradeify and I've got my cash account that's going off of gold. So I figured, okay, that gives me at least the ability to trade with some funded accounts in gold, set up the grouping. And it wasn't until after the live stream, I think it was actually after my post-session live room with my Signal members finished, that I found a nice setup in gold. Again, it was a short. So I waited for my footprint confirmation, which I got a footprint confirmation, you know, something like this. And I was going to take a reverse on it and ended up taking the trade. So I clicked this short button and immediately got an error saying that I had exceeded my minimum contract allocation. And right away I knew, as it was an Apex error, that I had made a pretty grave mistake, because I still set my leader account, which is all of my groups are set to an Apex 300K leader, so that I have enough drawdown in those trades and I can trade enough in contracts to make the conversion to the micros. So if I want to take, you know, multiple contracts, you know, I can still do it on the NQ, but it trades all my fundeds and my cash on the micros. So again, I left my leader account as the Apex eval, which I can't trade gold. So it got me into all of the positions, me not knowing, because I didn't see any bracket orders, I didn't see any entry, but because the NQ, the GS contract never got filled, but it did send the orders out, just the entries for my funded. And I then realized the mistake. I then switched to my leader to my SIM account, which would be the only other account that I can take on the GC, and had that copy trade to my one. So then I got up into the trade, and I then saw like trade went in my direction, but the P&L, I took a quick look at my P&L. The P&L was up like $600-700, and the gold had barely moved, and I knew something was wrong at that point. So I went into my positions, and sure as shit, I was into 4 contracts instead of 2, and 2 of those contracts for like 5 or 6 funded accounts were completely unprotected. They had no stops, they had no take profits, because there was no entry to go off of. There was nothing that it was sent, because the leader account never got filled. And price had only moved like literally like a point below. I mean, it was very little movement. It then starts to move against me by the same difference. It was really, really small. So I go in, I close out 2 of the positions. I close out the 2 positions that actually had bracket orders, the correct ones. So then I'm still blind into the market, and meaning that I had no TP, I had no stop loss. I watched it for a couple of seconds, and I'm like, you know what, this is just bad. I'm completely unprotected on here. I could have gone in and put in manual stop losses and manual thing, but I ended up taking closing out flattening all the positions. In total on everything, it was like about a $300 to $400 loss, so it was maybe about $40 per account. No big deal. But the second that I hit the flattened position, the the gold just drops like 3 points lower than where my TP was in a matter of like 6 or 7 seconds from the time that I hit the close button. And I was hot. I mean, I was livid. And I knew at that point that I was getting into a mindset where I think revenge trading for the first time could have been extremely real. So I closed the charts off and I said, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm not going to trade anymore. So for the NQ and the ES, everything I take off the leader accounts is on the NQ. GC is also taking it off of GC, but on GC, I have my Sim 101 account attached. And then in my trade copier, I have the leader as my Sim trading to all of my funded. Now, from the research that I have done, they say it's not a good practice to have your Sim as your leader. It should be the same equivalency. So if it's, you know, Sim funded or Sim to keep it cash to cash, to keep them the same. But I've taken, I think, 2 trades with it this way, and I haven't had any problems. So I'm hoping that that'll continue. Morgan, I always use Sim as leader. Okay. So here's another reason why, and it's complicated. Like, you know, this whole thing has been thought out in a long process by me. So, but it is a little complicated because here's my complication. If anybody has a better strategy, I'm all ears because I love. Okay. So I've got 3 groups of accounts. Okay. So we got one group here. We've got another group here, and I've got another group here. Each one of these accounts comprises of about 8 to 9 funded, and each one of them has a cash account attached to them. And one group has 2 cash accounts attached to them, but they're all this 8 to 9 accounts per group. So these are all trading on the micros. Okay, so I'll put here micro. Executions are all in the micros. My leader is always on the E-mini. On the NQ, the ES, and in gold. All the same. So the leader is on the E-mini. All the fundeds are on micros. Okay, and my cash is on micros. So the problem that I have is with the Sim, using the Sim as a leader doesn't work for me because I can't have the same Sim be the leader of all 3 groups, because then you run into big issues. And I know I can turn off this group, I can turn this group off, I can turn this group off, and then just turn this group on. That's just opening yourself up to, and in my opinion, to mistakes. I'm not that perfect of a trader, even though I could set some check boxes and things like that. Mistakes will happen this way. So what I do is, instead of the Sim, I use an Apex 300K eval. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 of these evals on this Apex. The problem with that, which is really the stupid part of this whole equation, is that I'm paying for these. These are all legacy accounts. I have been paying, I think it's 79 bucks or some 69 bucks per account for the last like 4 months, 5 months of doing this strategy. So inherently, this strategy is costing me, let's just say 280 bucks a month for no good reason. Now, yes, these accounts are all like really nicely in profit because they're all trading E-minis. So it kind of makes me wonder, you know, why should I be trading micros? But that's a different topic. And, you know, I understand even if these get funded to PAs, there's nothing that I could do with them because I'm already locked in with 20 PAs. So I can't like just keep this one as well. So like the whole thing is just kind of complicated on the way I'm looking at it. I know the easiest thing would probably be to do to sim and then turn these off each day and just make sure that you're smart on it. But like sometimes during the day, I like to switch. Like if this group is in profit really nicely, then I'll switch to a second group. Or if this group is really negative in a day, then I'll switch to a second group. And I just think that's where mistakes can probably happen. You guys are probably like, who cares what your particular issue is? But if anybody's got a better solution, and then I've done research on it with Replicanto, with affordable indicators. All of them say the same thing. You should be trading on the same account type. So if you're trading cash, it should be cash. If you're trading prop, it should be prop. They say sim does work, but they said that they don't recommend it. And that was straight from their website that I kept reading it on. So I've always been a little like leery on it, but right now I'm gold. I'm trading it. My leader's on sim, and all of the fundeds, all of the followers are on the micros. So we'll see. Joe says, why don't you use 3 different sims? Yeah, Morgan, that's what I do. So I've got, my Replicanto's got 4 tabs. So I've got group 1, group 2, group 3, and then I've got tabs for group 1 NQ, group 1 ES, group 1 GC, group 2 NQ, group 2 ES, and then now I've just got a gold group because of Apex is not being allowed to trade gold, which kind of sucks. So Joe's saying, why don't I use 3 different sims? I thought that I was capped at 2 sims on NinjaTrader. I only have 1 right now, but I think that there is the option in the dashboard of adding another sim. But I think like one's called local and one's called global, and I don't really know what the difference is between that. But if someone knows how to do three sims, I'll try it. I mean, that saves me $300 a month. And if I don't really see much difference, you know, I think the biggest difference becomes your fills. You could get filled when you don't want to. You don't get filled, but I mean, it happens in trading all the time. I mean, you saw it today. Then that signal came to my entry and didn't get filled. Some of my signal members got filled. Yeah, typewriter. I think the biggest issue is coming down to drawdown, because obviously, you know, if you're taking 2 contracts on the E-mini and you've got a 50 point move on an AVT setup, you know, one bad trade and your drawdown's pretty much gone, which is the nice benefit of Apex. Or I just switched to, you know, one other thing that I was looking at, which affordable indicators is which I use for my order entry, which is what you see on the screen right now. That gives me a preview of my like ATM strategies that I can adjust like on the fly, which is pretty awesome. In their promo, it says that you can cross trade directly from the order entry management thing. And it shows a little checkbox where you can checkbox to cross trade to the micro version, but I don't see it. I've looked at all of my options to for the indicator, and I don't see it there. Because that would be cool. And then I would only then all my leaders could be my funded accounts, which would be perfect. I mean, that would be a super ideal. Or even my cash. I would. That's how I used to trade. I always used to copy trade cash. My leader was cash, and then they would copy trade to all my fundeds, because I figured, all right, if I'm in cash, that's the real live market. There can't be nothing more real than that. So I figured that the fills would be pretty realistic. But, you know, once I got into the strategy of 3 different groups, that's what kind of changed that approach. Looking at the ES did have a little mini leg here to the downside, but again, we're just really stuck in a range here. Did not get any entry here, already broke structure down here. So again, this is not a valid setup for us. So we'll see. Again, it's kind of kept us out of some pretty bad chop, which is one reason why I really do like the strategy, is that it does kind of avoid that chop there. But at the same time, I'd like to take a trade. So, okay, I got a few questions. Joe, thank you for that. That does open my eyes to something. So he's got Sim Group 1, Sim Group 2, Sim Group 3. Yeah, that could work. Was it Morgan or Key that said, gave me a comment that I wanted to ask a question on? Oh, Morgan. So Morgan said, just need to remember to, oh no, not to change the leader. You said something about restarting Replicanto every day. Set up program tabs and change. Who was the one that said that? To restart Replicanto every day. I swore I read that somewhere. Oh yeah, so Morgan said just make sure to restart your Replicanto already. I do that, but tell me why. What's the reasoning there? I do that, but I want to know why you said that, so I can. Can you tell me why? Just so I know, it avoids a lot of issues. Like what kind of issues? Because I am thinking that it's a pretty viable. It is a pretty viable option. And I hate getting that email of my rebill on those evals. I feel like I'm just kind of donating money that I could actually be using to buy more funded accounts or put back into my cash accounts. So business-wise, it's not the greatest. They used to tell you to do it if they, I don't know if they patched it. Okay. Add fills, cross fills, etc. All right. I mean, I do that. I close on this computer down here in my studio. I close every day. I close my charts every day. My NinjaTrader upstairs in my old trading setup, that runs all day. That runs 24/7. I don't think I've closed that out. I'll probably close it out in the weekends, like on Fridays, but usually when I'm leaving the door, leaving through the garage, I'll take a look at it. throughout the evening, I'll look at it just to kind of give me a bird's eye view on the markets. All right, let's take a look at gold here. So now what I would want to see here in gold on this first unbalanced volume area that we're going to be dipping into here is I would like to see a footprint candle come into this unbalanced area, close as a green footprint with some negative delta. That's my order confirmation for a long out of this buyer unbalanced volume area. So that's what I'll be looking for if it presents itself. Yeah, I knew I could add another sim with Ninja on their dashboard. I just thought we were limited to 2. And I remember reading something that one was like global and one was local, and that was kind of like weirding me out. So I didn't really, I guess, look into it much further than that. But I kind of do like this, kind of do like that option. All right, so initial balance is set. Our initial balance is set at the lows at the 27,298, and our initial balance high is at the 27,435. Let's put the initial balance here. So I'm glad. What is his name? Addo One Time. I'm actually very happy that you posted that comment, because now I remember why there was something about that global or local that kept coming up in my brain as to why I thought it would be somewhat of a restriction. So I've got when I go to my place in Florida and I trade or live stream, I'm on my laptop, which I got here on the side. So that was one of the issues that I had foreseen was having the leaders on some sims here, and then obviously not being the same sims on my laptop. And I just thought, man, that's going to be somewhat of a problem. But I guess if I could have 3 global sims, which I don't know if I can, but if I could, that would solve that, because then those would all stay in kind of stay in sync with each other. I'm glad you pointed that out, because now I do remember that. So again, we got initial balance set here at the 27,298 to the 27,435. Nothing yet on any of the AVTs here yet. Still chop, so we're staying out of all of that. Gold looks like it's getting close here. I wonder if I got time to go refill my coffee. Looks like I might. Give me 1 second, guys. Looks like we got a nice rejection here off of that key level at the 27,403. Nice little flip there. Look at the ES. ES has got some activity here. ES is all volume is sitting really down here. Gold came pretty close, but no cigar. Got about 140 point range on the IB today, this morning, which is on the lower side for sure. That's what ATR is sitting at. ATR is not too bad. It's 35 on the 5 minute. It's on the lower side. Kind of an ugly morning. Kind of an ugly Monday, huh? Obviously, no high impact news here this morning. I think tomorrow we might have consumer confidence at 9 a.m. I think that's it. U.S. durable goods on Thursday, oil inventory report, and then FOMC. I mean, the most amount of liquidity currently is sitting at the 7,200, which is a nice psychological number. You can see where the 7,200's got 218 contracts sitting right there. 131 contracts at the 7,202. And then below us at the 7,180, which is, I believe, right here. This is our other stops sitting right here. This is initial balance low for the ES, so that's kind of normal. That's some terrible price action. Of course, my son is up 210 bucks. Kind of interesting, the book map. It's going through a whole bunch of contracts right here. Someone loading in here at the 7190s. This was churning right here, and it was just getting refilled and refilled. So somebody's positioning here. Somebody just absorbed it. Maybe they just make a 10 handle move right here. Auction it off right there at the 7200s. Hey J Loves, seems like a while since we've chatted. I don't know, just trying to deal with this crappy price action here today. Just been sitting in the initial balance of the morning. Initial balance is only about 130 points range. All right, my prediction This is my Notre Dame prediction. I feel whichever initial balance we take out here this morning, I see we go right back to the other initial balance, vice versa. I don't see any type of breakout like this. Maybe we take a long at the IB low off of a 30 Ranger. 7-point stop, 130-point TP. That would be a nice risk to reward. That would jack up all my stats on TradeZilla. I would say you're the best trader in the world. We know we got good volume here. We know we got good volume here. We've just been resting. We'll see. Excuse me. We got crap weather coming up here in Chicago for the next like 4 days. It's supposed to rain every day. Maybe in the 50s. Which kind of stinks because my daughter's got a softball game tonight for high school. That's probably going to get canceled. Let's see what Florida's looking like. Deerfield Beach, 80 degrees, sunny. Tomorrow, 82, 83, 84, 87, 88, 91. Not a drop of rain in sight. Makes you wonder. Come on, markets, you got to do something here. All right, so in gold, I moved my unbalanced volume area now to this 4712.3 to the 4704.6, as this one kind of blew through. We did get a nice little sweep pattern there. No confirmation, nothing to do there. Yes, looks a little interesting here. This is a continuation model here down to the downside. A lot of positive delta here. Wow. That's interesting. All right, let's see if we can, as much as the short really interests me down here, let's see if we get a somewhat of a pullback here. We'll see if that works out or not. Kind of like a short right from here, to be honest with you. like this equal low that we created down here. This is pretty much our target. A lot of positive delta. We'll continue to wait. It's like watching paint dry today. Maybe the market's just waiting for a Trump tweet or some kind of headline. It's the only direction it's had in the last 5 weeks. It's been with a headline. All right, a little bit of movement here. Let's see what this ES leg looks like here. See if we can get an entry here on the ES for a short. I don't know if it's going to give it to us or not, but all right, so we got about 4.5 points of risk here for 5.25 points. So slightly better than 1-to-1. Again, your defense, you've got some unbalanced volume area sitting right here. We do have a key level right here, so I mean your stop sitting, you might even, I mean this is probably your best. It's three ticks. Nothing showing up yet on the NQ. No entry yet on the ES. Just kind of looking at the 30 range here on the NQ. See if we can get a play off of the initial balance here or not. Let's see if we can get an entry here. Looks like it's came to about a tick from our entry here. Did not get filled. I mean, that literally was on our entry. High on that one was, oh, Okay. All right, now we got filled. All right, so let's see here if we can get a nice little retracement back to the downside. See if we can get back the NQ down to the initial balance low. All right, so trade idea here: 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1 up. Fixed volume profile tool encompassing this move right here. Point of control sitting at the 71.82, which was my entry here, and then just targeting the break of structure down here. You know, your value area low sits right here, but that's about a 2-point target. So we'll see. Obviously been a super choppy morning, but we'll see how this kind of plays out. Trying to take a quick peek here at Bookmap. The 85s, which is my key level right here, is it's got some decent contracts here. That looks pretty balanced in overall. That was a strong absorption right there. Let's see if that gives us some defense here or not. Came about a point from stop right there. All right, stopped out of that trade. NQ, nothing. Gold, it's heading up towards that unbalanced volume area, but nothing to do there. do like this short right here, to be honest with you. My gut. Like that flip right off that key level, sweep of this top. See what the NQ's doing here. I'm just kind of stuck in this exact range. There's no movement out of there. Let's see if I can get an entry here. This is 4 2/2. All right. All right, so we're targeting now break above. So that's going to be sitting at the 71.87. Let the stop at the value area low here at the 71.7750. And then I've got a second entry possible if we get down to the point of control. This is going to be a pretty tight stop on the secondary position. It's only going to be about 2 points. We're playing ping pong right now with this key level at the 71.85. Let's see if we can break that. We do have some liquidity sitting right here at the 88s that they can want to target, so that's a good that's good news for me for my TP. Good absorption there by buyers. Let's see if they could finish it off here. We got a small piece here at the 71.8750 that they're going to probably want to tap into, which should get me my TP. All right, target hit there. Oh, still got a position open. I don't know why. That sucked. So I lost about a point there on the non-fill on a bunch of the, look at that. This is fucking garbage. I swear to God. What a fucking day. What a day. So again, flatten that one about 3 seconds before full TP would have gotten hit there. But as you can see on the P&L, that was not the full 4 points there. But good trade, I guess, nonetheless. All right, everyone. I think I'm going to call it a day. Price action is this is kind of unbearable to watch. This is pretty nasty there. So I was able to take at least some trade here. Actually, no, right here on this long. Did not get the full 4 points though on all of my funded accounts. Really got about 3.25 points, which kind of sucks, because that's about 25% of the profit there on that trade. All right, we'll see what tomorrow brings us. Stay patient in this market. You know, obviously, this is not the greatest environment to trade from, but there's at least a setup there that we're able to capitalize at least once on. So I'll keep taking a look and see if the initial balance gets hit here on the other side. Again, my thought process on the initial balance is that we could see a good reversal on both of these. And I wouldn't be surprised if we skull the entire range. That's just my thought. All right, guys, hit like on the stream if you haven't. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys here tomorrow. Take care.